This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by Paul Butler just before training, sir. But first of all, how are we, mate?
I'm good, yeah. Feeling good, feeling fit, ready.
You've got to be feeling good. This is a fight you've wanted for ages, a huge task. But just take me through that fight with Inoue quickly, and we'll go into more detail, mate.
Yeah, it's a massive fight. Obviously, he's a pound for pound great. I think he's a freeweight division champion. So it's a huge opportunity for me, and to be going to Japan as well. It's another thing ticked off the list.
First time going there, leisure and work. It's absolutely mental, mate. You looking forward to that one?
It is. I'm looking forward to the boxing side, obviously. I'm not exactly going to be enjoying myself out there with the 10 days that we go previous, but yeah, it's something I'm looking forward to. It'll be a little bit different than the usual. At the Echo, I have it pretty comfy. I go home, I come back, I don't have to stay in hotels. It's going to be a little bit different. We had a little bit of a taste of it last year, around about the same time in Dubai. Obviously, I didn't end up fighting, but yeah, we had a little taste of it last year. Yeah,
being the away fight is not something that would phase you in any way, but you're expecting a big crowd from your end to go over. It's a long way.
Yeah, it is a long way. I've got a fair few going now, which I'm buzzing about. I need to sort out tickets and that at the moment, but yeah, we've got a few going over. I feel for them really, because about 2 weeks ago, before the fight was announced, prices were down on flights and they've just rocketed up within the last week. So, but they're all still game, they're all still going. So I'm happy about that.
So that would be obviously travelling to London and fly over there. Yeah, you've said recently that this would be even more special. This one, just explain what you mean by that.
It's a massive fight, isn't it? This is the first time boxing out of the UK for me as a professional as well. I've done it plenty of times as an amateur. It's something I've always wanted to do, and to get it on possibly the biggest stage out there as well in Japan, boxing a pound for pounder for all the marbles. It's something special about it.
Everyone keeps going on about, and rightly so, how good Inoue is, how much of a big task this is for you. But let's think on the positives. This is why you're in the fight game, isn't it, Paul? This is what you're going out there for.
This is what I set out to do when I was a 10-year-old boy, to become. You set yourself goals. I always wanted to win a schoolboy title. I turned pro, I wanted to win a British, I wanted to win a world title. I've done that. And once you win world titles, you sort of set yourself other goals. I always wanted to unify, and now I've got the chance to become undisputed. So it's a goal that I've always pushed towards, and we've got the rewards now.
Obviously, quite a simple question and simple answer, but just take me through how training's gone.
Unbelievable. I'm enjoying it. It's an enjoyable camp. Sometimes you're frustrated, you're dieting, but no, I've got a smile on my face every day in the gym. Everyone will tell you in here, I'm enjoying it. We're working over the stuff at the moment, what he does well. So we're sitting down, we're watching him. There's certain shots that he throws well, and we're going to try and stop that. And then we're going to try and work off what we can do, off what he does well.
Yeah, a lot has been reported in what he does well and things he does. But what do you bring to the table, Paul? Just tell me a little bit about how you can beat him.
His timing's really good. So we've got to sort of we've got to keep feinting with him. We've got to offset him, and I think my timing's good as well. I think my feet are good. Yeah. I like to get people to work at my pace. Like Sultan obviously wanted to pressure me when I boxed him. I sort of took him down to my pace and moved my feet well. I found the angles. I always think I know where the spaces are in the ring. I won't be a person that'll just get trapped in a corner and take a bit of punishment. I always know where the spaces are. I've always been taught that as a kid.
Yeah, moving back onto your schoolboys, that is amateurs, quick in with the feet, in and out, and I suppose with Inoue you can't be on the ropes, you can't be in the corner, so that will obviously pay dividends in that fight, Paul.
I hope so, because yeah, as soon as he does pin people on the ropes, he seems to nail them. He seems to push you back. As soon as you're on the ropes, that's when he unloads. And he does look for the big shots. He's not shy on them. He doesn't just go for speed and then take it out with the third shot. He'll try and take it out with the first shot that he lands. And that's my job, to negate that and to stop him from doing that.
What do you think of the criticism in terms of a lot from the US perspective, looking in this fight, saying it's a complete mismatch? Again, you understand you are going there as the underdog, but you are also an incredible opponent, Paul. What do you make of the criticism by some of the fans?
Fuck 'em, mate. Doesn't not bother me at all. Do you know what I mean? Like 5-6 years ago, I'd have sat there and I'd have been replying to every single one of them, and I'd have been arguing all day, all night with them. But yeah, now I just look at it and I think, fuck yous. Do you know what I mean? It's me that's getting in there. It's not you. Luckily enough, it's not them. Half of them are just couch potatoes. Do you know what I mean? Just sat there doing fuck all day. I'm in the gym every day grafting, and it's what I've done since I was a 10-year-old boy, so I deserve this shot.
Does that motivate you, the underdog, in this fight? Surely that gives you a little spite, a little bit of a little bit more in this, Paul.
I love it, yeah. I've always said that I like going into the Lions Den. I done it against Ashley Sexton when I was on my way up. I think I was 7-0. Ashley was about 14-0. I went down to the York Hall. I beat him on a Thursday night. I went and beat Stuart Hall in Newcastle. I know this is going to be completely different in Japan against a completely different operator, but that's the type of things I thrive on. Sort of things I can get up for. So I'm sure. Listen, the better the opponent, the better I perform. Look at the Mexican who boxed in Bolton for the final eliminator for the WBO. He just came and had it, and I sort of went down to his level and done enough to win. I knew Sultan was a different level again. I completely outboxed him, outschooled him, and done everything that I needed to do on that night. So I think the better the opponent, the better I become.
Obviously, a great stable, a great gym here with Joe Gallagher. Obviously, a formidable trainer, a respected trainer. How much trust have you got in him for this fight in particular, mate?
I've got to trust Joe, haven't I? I've trusted him since the day I walked in here. I find every camp is enjoyable with him, and I think every opponent. I remember the very first kid I boxed under Joe. He was a Mexican. He was a good Mexican, solid all round. And me amateur coach Peter Macker came up to me before I was walking out, and he said, "You feel good?" I said, "I feel like I've been in the ring 10 times over with this kid already." Just because Joe leaves no stone unturned, he nails everything, and that's what I felt like going into the ring. I felt like I'd already been in there with this kid 10 times over. I knew every move that he was going to do. Obviously, he's not the same kid as Inoue. Inoue will do different things, and Inoue adapts a lot quicker than the average person. Look at the Rodriguez fight. I thought he lost the first round. He came out and smashed him in the second round. So we're in with a completely different operator. But yeah, I trust Joe. I trust Joe completely.
You have been present when Inoue has boxed. You've been ringside for one of his fights. What did you learn when you saw in the flesh how he boxes, mate?
To be fair, I called it before the fight. I said Rodriguez will be a little bit too ignorant in his own style. He won't try and stick to a game plan. I thought he'd go out there and he'd try and bully Inoue, which he tried to, and that was his downfall. I don't think you can actually do that. I think he hits too hard. He finds the spaces too easy if you try and bully him. And I know Donaire in the first fight said, "I'm going to go out there and box." The second fight he said, "I tried to go out there and box." But I think when he met him head on, that's where he got caught. I think you've got to pick your moments with him because he's very, very smart, and obviously one shot can change a fight, and he's got power in both hands.
I know you're not looking, obviously past the fight in itself, but this could arguably be one of the biggest away wins in the British British boxing history, mate.
100%, I believe it is. I think that the Brits have had some good wins away, but I think this would be the biggest of them all. Pound for pound, arguably number one, number two. So yeah, everyone's writing me off. Do you know what I mean? So I believe it would be the biggest win.
And no Englishman has done it in the four belt era. Yeah, have they? That's a fact that obviously you spoke about recently. That's incredible, Paul.
Yeah, I didn't find out that until I think the last person was Lennox Lewis, and that was the free belt era. Yeah, so yeah, it'll be a great honour to go and win all the belts.
In terms of obviously fighting in Japan and etc., does that excite you? That in itself, mate.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I'd have loved it over here because the crowd are different here. In America, the crowd are different there. I think it's a little bit different in Japan. They're all sat there and it shows us a few little claps here and there, but they're going to have plenty of people from Ellesmere Port over there, and I think they're going to be in for a little shock when they hear them in whatever corner they're in or wherever they are in that arena. They're going to think, what the fuck are they doing up there? Do you know what I mean? Because they're going to be rowdy.
Because you could have done voluntary defence, you could have had the easier route, but again, testament to yourself and your team as well for trusting you in this one, but you've gone for the hard fights, Paul, with this one, mate, definitely, and one of the hardest you could get out there.
Yeah, I've said in the build up to this, it's the toughest task in boxing, this, because you can go through all the other weights, look at Spence Crawford, everyone's a flip of a coin, who'll win that, loads will say him, same in all the other weights, who's the best in this weight, who's the best in that weight, everyone says Inoue by a landslide in the bantamweight division, so I believe it's the toughest task in boxing, and it's one I walked towards, and I didn't try and walk away from it. As soon as I won the title and as soon as he beat Donaire, I said to Joe, that's the fight we want. I could have had 2 voluntaries, two easy fights, but no, I wanted the big one. Listen, I've been in the game now. It'll be 24 years by the time I box him. I'll be 24. I wish I was 24. I'll be 34 next month in November. So it'd have been 24 years I've been in this game. I walked in the gym at 10, and you want the biggest fights, and he's the biggest fight out there. So let's go for it.
Obviously, you mentioned your schoolboys. I mean, you probably were never thinking this back then, but when you got into boxing, when you started, obviously professional, let's not talk about the schoolboys and amateur days, but did you ever think you'd get an opportunity like this, or put yourself, in an opportunity like this, Paul?
No. Obviously after I turned pro and the big hype around me, winning British title within 9 fights, Commonwealth in 11, World within 16, I think at the time I was the fastest Englishman to do it. Then you're thinking, unifications, and then it all just stopped for me. I got beat by Tete, I got beat by Rodriguez, rebuilding process, and I'm fortunate to be where I am now. I've worked hard to be where I am as well. I got beat from Rodriguez. I went back to the small all shows. Everyone seems to boxing for a few grand here and there, do you know what I mean? Worked my way back up, signed with MTK, got me shot, and here we are now. We're in the biggest fight in the division.
Which fight leading up to this would you say was the most important, or the one you learnt the most in, Paul?
The most important was Sultan. I prepared for Casemiro the whole 10-week camp. We knew that Sultan was in the background. We knew he was training for me because there was always going to be problems with Casemiro. Everyone knew what happened in Dubai. So we had literally 2-3 days to prepare for Sultan, and I knew if I got beat by him, I had nowhere to go. I weren't rebuilding for another 2 years. I was done, do you know what I mean? I was walking away. So now I can train with a smile on my face. No pressure on me at all. I can go in there and enjoy myself.
Yeah, because is there any pressure with this fight? Because I think you said previously, if I get by a round, if I get by 2 rounds, I've done well. So, yeah, you feeling more comfortable or with this situation going ahead, mate?
100%. Everyone reckons it's over in a round. So, like I say, if I get to 2 rounds, I've done well. If I get to 3, fucking hell, I've got a draw in most people's eyes. Do you know what I mean? But it's one of them. Everyone's wrote me off. So, really, I shouldn't go 2 rounds, should I? I shouldn't go 3 rounds. So there's no pressure on me whatsoever. I'm just going to go in there and do my thing.
Because surely you have to start early, get his respect early, and things like that. Is that how the fight should play out, Paul? Yeah,
listen, you've got to gain his respect. I think if you don't, I think we seen at the time a very weak Jamie McDonald that was struggling. He just walked through him. I think Rodriguez gained his respect in the first round, but he made them adjustments. And I think he got caught a hooker with a hooker. Do you know what I mean? You don't hook with a hooker, and he got caught on the inside. And then once he hurt him to the head, he just took him downstairs and hurt him to the body and finished him to the body. He's a very, very good, very, very clever fighter, but you have got to gain his respect. If that's early, then it more than likely it'd have to be early. I think he definitely has to gain your respect.
Well, Paul, I know you've got to head off and get training, mate, but again, thank you so much for your time, mate, and take it easy, yeah?